Yo, what up, what up?
So glad to see you.
Glad to see you too, the wolf guy. What up, guys? Thank you for joining me during the stream, and let's get after it. Alright, today we are in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and we are about to retell some old myths. We're about to do some river raids. Yeah, we are getting down with it. Right. Let's start up these raids, huh? I don't think I have anything else to do beforehand. Let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, heading towards that place right now. Oof, I think I went the wrong way. Will he jump this? Oh, sweet. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Up for some raiding?
Of course I am. Let's go raiding. Alright, I finished this. Finished this. Let's go find the rest of St. George's stuff. And then we can do the quest for St. George. Alright, while we're on this, let's talk about how Odin lost one eye and why he only has one. How did he get his one eye? I don't know. I do know, but do you know? Let's talk about it. Alright, in order to start with it, in order to talk about Odin's one eye, we need to talk about the origin and creation of the cosmos.
Sail!
You know, and how Odin first came into being. You guys know about that? Ooh, look, there's some treasure here. Alright, let's aim for the spot here. The map. River defenses. And then we got this spot here. I don't know what this is. The Sword of St. George. A fearsome champion lurking in the fortress. River D is said to wield St. George's fabled longsword. What do we don't even have the rest of this stuff. Hold on a second. Let's see our inventory. Let's see. We don't have his tunic. We do have his cape. This one's pretty sweet. I like this. I was trying to get all the Draugr stuff, but eventually. Where's this? Thor? No, where's Thor's? Where's Thor's? Thor's is here. Okay, St. George's cape. We don't have his helm. We have his gauntlets. We do have, yep, we do. Get those. Oops. Thor's breeches. Hide that. Oh, I do want those on. So that's all we have so far. Okay. So let's aim for that. Let's aim for that spot down there. All right. Creation of the cosmos. Can you not row in this water? Why is that going down? Yeah, creation of the cosmos. Let's talk about that. All right. So, before the cosmos happened, before anything else began, there was nothing, and nothingness in the cosmos was Ganuga Gap. meaning nothingness. So you had these two worlds. Let's raid this real quick. Let's raid this. Ooh, he's not gonna. Let's back him up. Alright. You have these two worlds. Hold on a second. Along with Ganuga Gap. First you have one, and then these two worlds, Muspelheim, the land of the fire, and Niflheim, the land of ice. They were both on two, think of them as being in two separate ends, right? And as they were in the nothingness, they started to come together. I'm knocking these guys over. They started to come together, and as they came together, they ooh, almost missed that shot trying to concentrate. As they came together, the Muspelheim started to melt Niflheim, and that melted ice formed a being in the cosmos, the first giant. And the first giant's name was Ymir. So Ymir, when he slept, he sweat, and his sweat, the sweat from his hands and his feet, that sweat came more giants, and so now the giants kind was established. More and more giants would come every night when he slept. Maybe he'd take a nap here and there and be other little baby giants, you know, because they have much time to take a nap. So what he did, so, you know, now you have most of these. Now you have some creation being formed, except you only have, you know, these two worlds, and still there was nothingness.
Jammed.
And
to get on the other side.
So what you got is I'm gonna put a side note in here. The creation of the universe and cosmos is a theory. It is a reoccurring theory. It's a reaction from nothingness. That's what's reoccurring in most of these tales. You have nothingness, and then all of a sudden you have, like, what we have is we have the Big Bang. That's how we tell our creation story. It started from nothing. And the Vikings, you know, they had Ganuga Gap, and from that nothingness, there was something. These two worlds collided. I guess you could say collided, but they just got closer to each other, and then they formed. They ended up forming this new world. This new being. And so now you have Ymir, right? And also from this, hold on, we need a hero. Dear Durward, I write again with the same entreaty as you may recall from our last 7 letters. Once more my farm has been burnt nearly to the ground, my livestock loosed in the wilds, and my stores utterly cleared out. For many reasons I find this unacceptable. How am I to feed my family, let alone pay you for the land I am meant to enjoy? You must act. I know of a champion who is loyal only to gold. This must be the champion with that longsword, St. George's longsword. Who is loyal only to gold. Perhaps you can direct some funds towards him so that he protects us. I intend no real offense, but I have found your guardianship lacking. This guy's pissed. You know, I'd be pissed too. So, as Ymir was feared, I already read this. As Ymir was formed from the same formation that he was formed, there was the first cow that also came from the ice drops, called Alhambla. Now, Alhambla nurtured Ymir, and that's how he survived. Ooh, don't tell me these Vikings are not gonna come. They're just done. Oh, there they are. Look at one's still running into that. Alright, here we are. We have to turn around and get this. So,
Hey, come here!
Alhambla nourished Ymir, and Auhumbla was nourished from the ice, the salt in the ice, from Niflheim.
Give me a hand!
Why is no one helping him out? What's going on here? Hello? There we are. Here we go. Here we go. Let's turn this. Here we go.
Hey, come here a moment.
So, as the cow licked the ice, the strands of a man's hair started to appear.
A good horn! Let's get out of here!
Soon as the cow licked, more and more of a man appeared. And now the first man was formed. His name was Bori. He was the first of the gods, the deities. And so, with Bori's creation, Bori mated with a giant who was formed from Ymir's sweat, and Bori had a son named Bor. Bor slept with another giant named Besla. I almost messed that up. I almost said Bessa. Besla. And those two had 3 children. Odin, Vili, and Ve. There is more to this creation story and more worlds to add, but this will be covered in another stream. So that's how Odin came into being, was from Bor and Besla. Bori and Besla. So now you know how he was born, really. Hold on, I'm gonna try and fix this right now. Give me a second. I just want to see something right now. There we go, that's better. I'm just fixing something on my monitor real quick. Okay, I think that's good. That works for me. Cool, let's do it. Let's do it. Alright. Let's get back on this ship. Okay, so, now, Odin is a controversial character. Now that we know how Odin was born, we can discuss what kind of person he is. Odin is an extremely complicated character. He leaves his position as chief and goes on solo quests that can last days, months, sometimes even years. These quests might be maybe for gaining more knowledge, which he would give up anything. He was very accustomed to doing. They've also been shown, they also show his adultery toward his wife, Freya. And with other, he does this with human females, and he plays controversial roles in stories, and while also taking different names to hide his identity. What he would do is, this river looks fast. Are we gonna get beyond this? I think so. So what he would do was go down so that people wouldn't know immediately. If you go into, he would come into a village, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, oh, my name's Odin, and people would be like, oh my goodness, Odin? The Odin? He was famous. So when you're famous, you take on pseudonyms or other names. So that's exactly what Odin did to protect himself. I guess protect himself and also get away with his ways. So people wouldn't suspect him. I'm telling you, he was a controversial character, and in those times, he was known to be that. And so, he, after hiding his identity, he is also worshipped as the patron saint of rulers, because he is a ruler in Asgard, and of outcasts. And one of the stories I can tell, this map looks very familiar. In one of the stories, one of the myths, he was actually exiled. I remember this. This is a very similar village to what we raided in the river Svern. Svern? He was actually exiled himself, and he was worshipped by outcasts. you know, they could relate to him, and that's why. So he was also, you know, he was worshipped as a war god, but he did not practice fairness, and he had little regard for others and for others and, you know, and their customs. And oh no, come on. These guys are so difficult sometimes. I'm gonna have to use a ration. You know, I think it's a little early to use a ration, so I'm just gonna stab him with gunmeal. It's so easy to do that. So here's a ration here. I'll help him up now. If I was left with 0 rations, that would be terrible. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go in here. It is barred. Yeah, this is a very similar map to what I've seen before. So back to what we were talking about with Odin's characteristics. Ooh, am I on fire again? Jesus, can't stay out of that flame. Odin's characteristics. So he didn't really care for people's customs, or he cared for his own, but he for other people's, if he wanted to get away with something, he'd do what he needed to do. And
help me out here.
So he was also labeled as a trickster, a deceiver, and enacted in feminine activities that would have brought shame on other men. There's a myth where he actually has a child, or a being, I guess you could say, since, you know, children are just automatically massive, like automatically full grown. So that, you know, he was a, like I said, a controversial character. Tough to get that out. I know. Try saying that 10 times fast. Let's grab some arrows. Let's come down here. Okay, let's do this. Just drop. Here we go. Coming down here. All right. So Odin, actually in Viking, is translated as the Fury, and you can see that in his ill temper. He was a very furious person. He, you know, if something wasn't going his way, or he was, I wouldn't say short-tempered, I would just say, you know, he was a war god. He had the thrill of excitement and the thrill of adrenaline running through his veins. So that's what he did. He lived for that excitement. All right. Grab some loot here. I just want to check to make sure that we don't need any more loot. Let's run around here. Run up this side. Ooh, am I missing? I am. I almost missed this. Almost missed some extra ration stuff. Let's see. Ooh, some more ration stuff. Here we go. Coming up here to these steps here. Almost missed this guy's stuff. Alright, let's check this real quick. Make sure we didn't miss anything. I got the stuff up there. Alright, we'll do the zip line thing. Here we go. So miss that. Do the zip line, come on down. Sweet. Alright, so his name being Fury, he had a lust for war, and he could also be seen turning the tides of war in favor of another. That was his thing. He was the lord of, or the ruler of Valhalla, and he wanted more and more warriors for his you know, his area, his path, for Valhalla. He would turn the tides of war, and he could also turn kinsmen, and he would turn kinsmen on each other. And so being the chief of Valhalla, Valhalla is the Hall of the Slain. Pretty convenient right now that I'm playing the game Valhalla. You know, these Viking warriors, that's what the warriors strive to go to Valhalla. And if you weren't a warrior, you didn't die like a warrior, you would go to hell. And we think hell is a bad thing, but in Viking times, hell was, you know, just another afterlife. So he would get these warriors, bring them to Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain, and they were chosen warriors specifically by him, and he would turn the tides to get the best warriors. And it was all he would reside all these warriors in Valhalla for the coming day of Ragnarok. Ragnarok was a prophecy that Odin and the rest of the gods, it was the end of the world, really. It was the end of everything. The end of everything that everyone knew. And so Ragnarok was feared by all the gods. It was a prophecy. And prophecies were not taken lightly. They were very looked after, I guess you could say. They were very if a seer told of a prophecy, they were believed. That's what they were. So so although his fate was sealed in the prophecy, he still kept hope that his fate could be changed, and thus he did not give up. This was an ongoing tradition in the Viking history. They did not give up in what they were doing. It's I guess, you know, that this is a side note right now. Isn't that a life lesson in itself? Never give up when all the gods are against you. Odin knew that he would die, but he didn't keep from that did not keep him from living. He kept moving forward. That was truly the Viking. That's why they were so fascinating. The Vikings were just, you know, they were so marveled because even in the face of death, even though they accepted it, they still refused to die without a bang. You know, Jesus Christ is another notable god that he went out with a bang. His crucifixion. You know, maybe he was descendant. Probably not. This is the similar theme that older religions had was their gods knew that they would die. You know, you see that in the Greek, the Roman, Norse gods. They knew that their days were numbered, and it was in different ways, but it was still the same effect. Yeah, let's go on the boat. Enemies have increased reinforcements. Their reinforcements have been increased in all locations. Apparently, the word has gotten out that increased reinforcements. Now, the runes. Let's talk about how Odin. You know, Odin's eye is the headline, and there is a bit of confusion when learning how the Allfather lost his eye. You know, modern media depicts his eye was lost through a sacrifice while he was on Yggdrasil, the tree that held the cosmos together. Missed that. Totally missed that. Hold on, let's back up here.
Control yourself.
So Yggdrasil held the cosmos together. And he, you know, they said that he lost his eye for the runes. What's going on here? I can't move the ship. Let's go forward. Let's go. Can we open the sail?
Run up the sail.
Doesn't move that. Here we go. Nope. These guys, I can't even move the ship.
Hey, what's the
Oh my goodness, I thought I was stuck. That would have been terrible. Dude, what do you do if you're stuck in an enemy territory? You just gotta accept your fate. Go out with a bang, right? So there's another depiction where he lost his eye in exchange for knowledge. Well, this is what the literature shows. In exchange for the world's wisdom, is another way of how he lost his eye. So let's retell both stories because I think they're both pretty fascinating. You know, one tells about. Yeah, I have a thing to do right here. Let's go around this. Oh, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to squeeze through that. That was super close right there. Alright, let's do this. Let's grab all this loot. Loot. So yeah, these two tales are pretty fascinating. Talk about how he got the runes and how he also got his the world's wisdom. The word rune is for the collection of the ancient Germanic alphabet, and is also meant to it also meant mystery. The runes were not only letters, but also a source of power, understanding and the control of the forces in the universe. So that meant that, you know, like, you have these the letters, and they if you put them down, or you write them down, and you believe what they write, you can control, you know, the what you're trying to do. If you wanted power, you would get power. If you wanted foresight, if you wanted victory, if you wanted anything really, the runes all had it. I'm gonna jump up here and help this guy out. I just don't want my forces to start fighting, because that would be terrible. I would just have to, I wouldn't be there to help them, and I'd lose my rations. Okay. So they would they're most commonly associated with magic because of those properties, and the forces then act on summoning. So it's believed that these runes were discovered by Odin and then taught to select humans. So now that we have the gist, you know, of what's this? Collect key. Cool. Some more rations. Awesome. All right, hold on. But before we start, so we're going to. So the story of Odin, how he acquired these runes, is very certain and common throughout the sources of poems and early songs in the early Viking history, and told in the sayings of the High One. Ooh, this book of knowledge, cool. We're gonna get this guy real quick. We're gonna keep fighting through. So, sources also confirm that this story predates Christian religious poetry. I wanna grab this weapon here, throw it at this guy, and I'm gonna also stomp him. Get him right there.
God curse you!
There we go. Yeah, it's stabby. Ooh, come on. How is he not? He backed up into a corner right now. The pike guys are super hard too. Oh, I don't know why he wasn't getting that. Scan real quick. Get this. These guys make it so difficult when they light everything on fire. Get some raspberries. Before I open that, I'm gonna clear this out, because I know I'm gonna forget, or something's gonna happen. Alright, let's grab someone to help me with this.
Hey, can't do this alone.
So, the sources, you know, the story predates Christian religious poetry. It makes sense. In that time, Christian writings of Vikings were told with a Christian agenda, and as to merge the two religions. This can be attributed to the Viking invasion and control of England at the time. And some extra. Let's collect. Rations are full. I'm definitely gonna have to come back here, knowing these people, knowing that. I guess some of them look alright. Yeah, the Viking control of England would set the tones for an agenda to show that Christ was the superior God, and you know that's kind of it's a theme throughout, you know, showing the superiority of their gods. And this with the runes, the myth of the runes, seen as a correlation between the sacrifices Jesus made when giving himself up on the cross, and in fact has influenced the depictions of Christ's crucifixion, including, you know, if you take the Roman stabbing Jesus, while he was on the cross. It's very similar to the depictions of Odin when he was sacrificing himself. So the story starts after I'm gonna force this open with some people. So
Give me a
the
hand over
story
here.
starts with how Odin was prepared to give up anything for more knowledge and wisdom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, so good. So good. And grab his staff.
We're done here.
Stabby,
Come on.
stabby. Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
That burns.
It burns. It burns. It burns. You know, Odin was prepared to give up. Just trying to check out the time real quick. Cool. To give up anything for more knowledge. And with that, you know, with that drive, I guess you could say, he used that, and that's a main reason why he went through with this tale, I guess you could say, this myth. So with this, he was sitting on his throne high up in Asgard, and from there he could see all the vast corners of alright, so I came in here and I don't know what I'm looking for. Is there something I'm missing? What am I missing? Why is this shut? Why is this shut? I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. Help me. There's nothing here. What's the point of this? Is it a trapdoor? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that was about. So he was sitting up on his throne. He could see the vast corners of the cosmos. And he was looking. That day he stared at the runes carved by the Norns on the base of the roots of the tree of Yggdrasil. And which, you know, Yggdrasil held Asgard up from its roots to its highest branches. Talk more about that later on. And he stared and wondered at these inscriptions, you know, wondering, you know, how is it that these have so much power, and how is this power being used for what it is right now? And think about it, it's holding up his kingdom. He after staring and wondering at these inscriptions and how they worked, then he decided he wanted that power, or he wanted this power to write something and have it take physical effect. Now, Odin couldn't be swayed when determined to obtain knowledge and power. He knew that this would take a great deal of pain and death, and he also knew it would spawn his rebirth. But such a Christian thing to think as well, you know. And I can understand where the Christians got that, how am I gonna get in here? Okay, where they got those depictions. A new ability. What is this? Battle cry. Battle cry. What is that? What is this battle cry? What is this? Skill abilities. Let's go. Battle cry. Check it out. Oh, this battle cry. Rawr. Oh, so it just kind of stuns them. That was so prevalent, you know. That was something they did. They were just fearless people. I mean, I'm sure they had fears, but they wouldn't show them. It wasn't becoming of a man or a woman. Ooh, this looks fun. Let's do this. So, you know, it would spawn his rebirth, and a sacrifice to Odin. Well, a sacrifice in the cosmos, in the world, was a sacrifice to the gods, and the highest god that Odin knew of was himself. So a sacrifice to Odin requires the person to be choked and stabbed at the same time. Now this practice, although brutal as it was present at traditional earls' funerals when they sacrificed a slave who met the same fate. So Odin goes on to, he knows this. He's going to do it. This is his choice, I guess you could say. So Odin hung himself from the tree Yggdrasil and repeatedly stabbed himself with his spear Gungnir, very similar to when Jesus was stabbed by the Roman by a spear. We talked about how Odin acquired this spear at the last stream, and that was with Mjolnir and Gungnir. That's from the dwarves. They forged both Mjolnir and Gungnir, and they were acquired from Loki. So we got this. We're just looking around to make sure we got everything, and I think we did. Yeah, we got this. We got the Cliffside Monastery done. It's complete. And we have the sword. We're gonna get the sword after we complete the stuff. I can't break that, can I? Okay. So, Odin hung himself and then stabbed himself, sacrificing. This was a sacrifice of himself to himself. And for 9 days. Now 9 was a very it was a number that the Vikings thought was, I guess, you know how we think the number 7 is lucky. It was the same. It wasn't the same. It was, 9 was a number. It was prevalent throughout the history, and that was their number. I think 9 days, 9 nights. That's how long Odin hung in the tree. 9 worlds. Is more of a modern thing, but there are 9 to think of, 9 to count. And so he hung on the tree, he hung on Yggdrasil, and thought of nothing but the runes. That was the key. He saw them, he felt them, internalized their secrets. Once he was fulfilled with this knowledge and power, he cut himself down and drank from the mead of poetry. Now that is a different story in itself, how he got this mead, but he possessed power well beyond any being, and this, having the runes was just, it was magical. Think of having magic. Imagine if you could get magic today. It'd be crazy. It'd be super powerful. You would be able to use magic to take physical forms. And that did not work out well. What if I can do this? I'm just gonna stab him. I'm just gonna steadily stab him. Oh, I think I can. Yeah, I can. Yeah. He didn't. He did go down. I'm gonna have to use my ration now. This is crazy. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna have to use 2 rations. What the hell going on here? These Vikings don't know how to fight. I didn't realize there were that many Vikings. I mean, that many Englishmen. Okay, I think we got most of them. Oh, there's one up top here. Let's do this. Come on. Where is it? Ooh, it was right there. I'm gonna have to go up there. I can't spend all day doing that. It's just too much. Alright, let's come up here. We're gonna sabotage this so it can't be used against us. I'm gonna do both of these right now. Sabotage this. Sabotage this. And I'm gonna go over and get this archer real quick. This guy has been pestering my Vikings, my Yomes Vikings. Come on, run, Eivor. Taking forever, dude. You're never gonna get there in time. Let's take this guy out. I wonder if we can. No, we can't. Oh, look at that. I love those fatality kills. So sweet. Okay. I'm gonna come over here and see if we have anybody else to look at. We do have some gold, but we'll have to get that after. Alright, let's just take out these guys. Let's take out these guys, and then we can continue on the path that we're looking at. There we go. Oh, what? What? I did a stealth thing. It gave me the stealth option, and I did it. Apparently it wasn't good enough.
Not much longer, Chores.
Here we go. Stabby, stabby. Yes. Teamwork makes the dream work. Those guys are tough to kill as well. Let's come over here. Let's grab these guys. Ooh, I love this. I love this. Oh, I didn't do it in time. What the hell? Let's go this. Let's do this. Alright, sweet. I'm trying to think of something to do here. There we go. We got them on fire. They're gone. Is one guy down again? There he is. Yeah. Here we go. He's on fire too. Let's grab him. Swing him over here. Boom. We got this. We'll revive him. We're almost at full strength, right? Oh, one's not looking so hot. What the hell? I thought he was on my team. That must have been like a theme, I guess, or a thing that you would have to look out for. Is, you know, oh, is he on my team? I mean, things are going fast. You might hit somebody by accident. That must have happened a lot. A lot. I gotta help these guys out, or else they're gonna be. Yep. See, now another one's down because he ran without me. These guys are so fearless, huh? There we go. And there, nice. Now we got him. Gotta help this guy out. Give him another ration. Give him another ration. Now I gotta find some more rations. Let's see, what else do we have here? We got some arrows we can grab. I don't think there's one more guy that we gotta look out for, I thought. There he is, he's up in the tower. Alright, I'm gonna run up there and grab him. Is that food? No, this is what? Collect the key. That's what we need. We need that key. Alright, running up to the tower right now. We gotta grab this guy. Oh, I could have ran up that tree. I always miss stuff like that. Alright, running up to grab this guy. He's way over there. Jumpy. Alright, let's grab him. Here we go. Ooh. Yeah, nice. There we go. Nice, big step. And finisher. Nice. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this story of the runes. Now let's talk about how he actually got his one eye. Now, the depiction of Odin with one eye is seen throughout all literature. That's, you know, like that's what he is pictured as. I'm surprised in Valhalla when you go through the story of Odin, he has both his eyes, which you would think is a little it's different. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, so he's always pictured with one eye. And this story of how he lost his eye, it's only present in Snorri Sturluson's Prose Edda. Now Snorri Sturluson wrote this around 1220 AD, and Snorri, I always mess that name up, even when I just talk about it in public. Snorri Sturluson, he was a nice. Oh, look at that River Raid loot. Yo, I'm gonna wear this, his whole outfit when I go to get this. It's gonna be upgraded to mythical, and I'm just gonna wear the whole thing. I'm gonna give that to my Jomsviking. That's my Jomsviking right there. So he wrote this around 1220 AD, and he was an Icelandic historian, poet, and also a politician. He lived from 1179 to 1241 AD. And when he wrote the Prose Edda, it was written after the Viking Age, starting in 789. And then with the famous attack on Lindisfarne Monastery in Northumberland, England, in 793, and that was the Viking Age lasted until 1066. So let's remember that the Viking Age started. It officially started. This is a quote from, not a quote, but this was found in the National Geographic. It started in 789, in the first attack in Portland, located in southern England. It was a very ruthless attack, and it's not as famous for some reason. Ooh, I thought he was gonna take damage. I guess you can't take damage from this in high falls. All right, so you know, that's when the Viking Age started, and so you think of how long it had been since the Viking Age ended to when Snorri actually wrote the Prose Edda. It's quite a while, and with that, some information gets lost, only because, you know, poetic license, first of all, and then secondly, things changed. Like, the stories changed, and they were, you know, told. And Snorri had a Christian agenda as well. He was retelling, you know, his forebears. I think I already went in here. I went in there, and I think I grabbed everything I needed. You know, he's retelling his story from his forefathers, I guess, but with that Christian agenda, and it was that was present throughout the Viking history, because they didn't write anything down. So you had people like Snorri writing things down after the fact, when someone, because they always thought that, you know, they didn't need to. It was going to be known. It was the gods. Everyone should have known this, you know. So there's got to be a way up here. So the wisest being who ever lived in the cosmos was Mimir. Now there's a tale about him as well, as him in a hostage situation. But Mimir with an M. I thought it was an N for some reason. It's not. So he was the wisest being who ever lived. He lived in solitary at the base of Yggdrasil by a well. So the Yggdrasil had a few wells around it, and in this he would drink from it every day and gain the knowledge beyond anyone in the cosmos. You know, Mimir wasn't really a god. He wasn't a giant. He was just a being. And so there's some stuff in here. Just totally took out my Viking. I wonder if they lose some health for doing that. So he would gain knowledge every day from drinking from the well of knowledge at the base of Yggdrasil. One day, with Odin's lust for knowledge, it brought him to that well one day, and Mimir greeted Odin and asked why he was there. Odin replied, saying it was the knowledge of the well that brought him. Mimir was not surprised and offered him a drink from the well on one condition: that Odin gives him something in return equal in value to the wisdom that he would gain. So Odin, you know, he's wondering, what the hell do you want? You know, what is it that's just as valuable? Now Mimir admired Odin's sight. He admired Odin for his vast. He could look vastly out in the cosmos and see everything from his throne, into every corner, and Mimir admired this. So, he admired him to see all things in the cosmos, and in order to drink from the well, he required Odin's sight as payment. Odin, without hesitation, now this is a Viking trait, without fear, hesitation of loss, he reached, you know, he reached to his head, stuck his fingers behind his eyes, and pulled and carved until it snapped out of his head. He snapped his eyeball by himself out of his head. Quite, you know, people like to think that they're tough, but that is pretty tough. You know, we look at tough people out there. I don't know if they could do that. Odin being a god and all, he probably could hide the pain, you know, especially after gaining the runes. You know, we don't know if that was before or after he gained the runes, but it doesn't matter. He did this, and it was a Viking trait. And we have food. We do. I always hate leaving stuff behind, so I'm checking. So, you know, Mimir told Odin to toss it into the well, and so its own powers and properties would be infused with the waters of that well. Odin did so, while Mimir, now grateful and showing admiration, as I would too, for Odin's strength, offered Odin a horn filled with the water of the well. And that's how he got it. That's how he lost his eye. And it's quite amazing. I thought it was such an amazing story, just because leading up to that story, as you guys have heard, it tells of the fearlessness of Vikings, and just how brave they were, and how colorful their universe was. You know, what have we learned? What have we learned from these stories that I said, or I told you about? And what have we learned from Odin sacrificing his eye? You know, you just can't say, yeah, he lost his eye. It was his own doing. I mean, it was, but why did he do it? We can learn that knowledge does not come without sacrifice. That's a big. He sacrificed himself for the runes. He sacrificed his eye for knowledge, both being knowledge and power. You know, it's present now than ever. It's taken me more years than I'd like to admit. I was not on the right path, and I was in the wrong relationships. I was becoming someone I did not like, and having knowledge of that, you know, all of these are examples of, although these examples of good things coming from negative things, it's good because I realize, you know, what I don't want in my life, what I don't need, what hurts me, what is negatively affecting me. It takes time and sacrifice to gain that knowledge, and I wish I could have a better story, as in, you know, I gained knowledge through I gained knowledge like the runes, or I lost an eye and I gained knowledge, and I had all the knowledge in the cosmos. So I feel like I would be more happy, but probably not. I feel like I'd probably just, you know, be the same person, striving to better myself, and striving to, and always getting caught up in always getting caught up, but just noticing what's bad for me. Just it being, I guess the knowledge would be being self-aware. That's the knowledge that I got, and that's a pretty powerful thing you could have. This guy right here is taking down my young weapon. How many times is this? Alright, sweet. We can revive him. Cool. So, you know, I can say that I continue to learn what I do not want, what I do not need in my life, and I can avoid those same experiences. I can avoid them. That's another thing. It's just, you know, I can take what I don't want and use it, as in not repeating the same mistakes. It's you know, it's a crazy thing, but it's true. These are things that can happen. I act like it's a whole revelation, but it's not. And you know, some positive things include, you know, reconnecting with people that are positive influences. Another understanding is, you know, what the world has to offer me, and taking advantage of it. You know, you should do the same thing as well. Take advantage of what the world offers. Take it, you know, it gives it, and take it greedily, because, you know, once you take it, your those opportunities, and you know, you can contribute something in this life before the next. You take those opportunities, you take advantage of them, and then you give back, and you offer something, and you know, you contribute something in this life before it all goes away. You know, finally, I have learned that there is nothing of value you can gain without sacrifice. Everything that you have, every piece of knowledge has come with some sacrifice. You know, sacrifice of time, sacrifice of your friends, sacrifice. It's prevalent through everywhere.
Give me a hand!
The special things in life. When you want something, some inanimate object like merchandise, you have to sacrifice money. And how did you get that money? You sacrificed your time, your energy, your you know, you had to miss things because you were out working for that money. You did things you didn't want to do, but in the end, you know, that hard work paid off. It gave you
That's it!
that accomplishment, that sense of accomplishment, that extra, that thing that people look for, and you went out and you got it, and that's a big thing. Don't let that go. Always continue to strive to get it, because even though you may not be in, and don't compare yourself to other people. Look at them and say, if that's what you want, then use that in order to get somewhere. But don't compare yourself and say, oh, they're better than I am, or they have better things than I do. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that are better than everybody else. There's always going to be someone better. But they did that through their own sacrifices. You don't know what they sacrificed. You don't know. Maybe you got to enjoy more things than they did because of the sacrifices. I mean, they were also put in different positions, and they took advantage of what had come in front of them. And maybe you just didn't, or maybe you have. And I know I am in the same situation where I squandered a lot of opportunities that I didn't recognize were even opportunities at the time. But now, I just gotta look out for them, and I'm trying to. These are the things we can take from these myths, from what the it's so colorful that the pictures, the lessons that were learned at the time. Every story that was said had a lesson, and that we can only learn. We can only learn from them, and that's what they were there for. They were there to teach. They were a way of life. They were incorporated, and we should just continue to learn from history and what history has to offer. And that's another reason why I'm telling these stories, is to learn and to correlate how they're effective, or how they can affect our lives. These ancient Vikings, these ancient people, had the same problems we have today. Everything's repeated. They didn't have the technology we do. They didn't stream every day in order to get a following or subscribers, but what they did do was before we talk to this guy here, they strived for something that was more for them in their life, and it's prevalent through everything. Let's talk to Vargan. Ooh, I thought he had. Oh, okay. So I think it's in the rating party. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed the lessons. I hope you guys will take something from it. I'll be here again, so let's just keep learning, and we'll get back to it. All right. My schedule is I'll be doing it tomorrow if it's permitted. I'm scheduled for tomorrow, but we'll see. So take care, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.